everybody, welcome out to the backyard today. What we're going to do is a few ribs. These are pork ribs. Now this is a local cut from a butcher here. It's kind of hard for me to explain. It's kind of a cross between a Louisville style cut and a baby back cut. They're a little more meaty, but they're about the width of a baby back. So we're going to do these for you today on the pit. And we've let these come up to room temperature. We've already pulled the silver skin off the back of the ribs. There's a lot of videos out there that'll show you how to do that. If you don't know, I should have showed you. We've got our pit regulated to somewhere around 275 or so, give or take a little bit. I use my little high-tech rod there on my air gate, and I usually can get things fairly well where I need to go. We're going to be fairly simple on these, on the pit. And we're going to make a sauce to sop them a little bit as they cook later on. But then we're going to use them when we finish it and as we eat it. So we're going to be really, really simple on this as we season them. And we'll show you the seasoning and go with it from there. Hey folks, we kind of got the light kind of half light and half shade. I don't know if I can move that around and help you a little bit here. All right, folks. I'm a salt and pepper guy on most of the stuff that I cook, but I want to bring this up. I've got a really good friend who's a chuck wagon cook, been a chuck wagon cook for years, and is making a name for himself, Kent Rollins. Most of y'all probably know him if y'all are following me. But Kent has his original seasoning, and that's what we're going to put on here today. There's a little more salt in here. So we're not going to add any salt to this, but this is probably an old bottle. He's probably got an updated bottle. I buy bags and refill my old bottles. But we're going to put this on here fairly liberally, okay? And our ribs are a little moist. It probably doesn't like that, but here we go. We're going to put this on here fairly liberally. Now, like what I say is our ribs are a little moist, and that's okay. We're going to put this on here, and this naturally will stick. I've done recipes where you put stuff on your ribs, mustard, and different things. Now, there's a place for some of that stuff, but I love the flavor of meat, you know, whether it's pork or beef. I don't like seasoning that mask of that flavor or anything like that. Again, y'all have heard me say before, anything you put on your food should enhance the flavor. And folks, this will right here. I'll put a link below to where you can go get your own if you want it. I'm going to give these a little pat down. Now, as we sit here and visit, this is going to adhere just a little bit. The only thing I'm going to add to this is brown sugar. Now, brown sugar is something you need to be careful with. If you're cooking at a high temperature, you're grilling or anything like that, brown sugar can burn. And it doesn't have a good flavor when it burns. We're going to be around 275 to 300 on these when we cook them. So we're not going to have an issue with this brown sugar at that temperature. But these are for us here at the house. I'm not cooking these for anybody else but us. My wife is from up north. She's from Pennsylvania. They have a different flavor profile up there than we do down here in the South. Things are a lot more, I'm going to say mild, for lack of a better way to explain it. She grew up on Pennsylvania Dutch cooking, and I've got some friends on Facebook and stuff that are up there that will also agree with that. Our biggest debates when it comes to food is seasoning or how it's prepared. One of the biggest things is chicken and waffles. Her chicken and waffles, and we'll do this where I'll do a comparison of this video at one point, but her version of chicken waffles is a waffle with kind of like what we would see inside a chicken pot pie poured over the top. And it's nowhere near close to Southern chicken and waffles, where we have got good piece of fried chicken on top of our waffle. Now I've dropped my one rag, so we're going to grab the new one. I'm going to put a little Kent sauce on the back side, not sauce, seasoning on the back side. And again, we pulled the membrane off of these, so I should have showed you kind of how to do that. I'm not going to put any brown sugar on the bottom because this will be the bottom as we cook, so I just want that flavor to come down. And we're going to make a little sauce here in a little bit and show you about it. So got these on there. Close up my brown sugar for I knock it over. People say, well, cover it up before something gets in it. Ain't gonna have a chance around me, folks. I'm gonna be knocking it over. All right, folks, we're gonna get these on the smoker and we're gonna put them on a middle rack. You know, everybody has their own opinions about smoking meat and things like that. To me, this is a little hotter down here. This is a little cooler, and this is even cooler as you go up. The reason is our fire's over there, so the heat's coming through here and the heat's diminishing as it goes out the stack. A lot of people say, well, open the stack all the way to pull it out. When you do that, you got to have your air pinched off really good. Otherwise, you're going to intensify the heat of your fire. So I usually have mine about half gated and about a 1/4 inch open on my air inlet. That is different for everybody's smoker that's out there. So here we go. We're going to get these on here, and it's just me and my wife, so I'm going to grab these with my hands. And get these on here. Again, folks, we want to thank you, every one of y'all, for watching us on YouTube and on Facebook and communicating with us through messenger, text, calls, all the different things that y'all do. It really means a lot to me. I've cooked a long time, but really never was public with my cooking. But I have been the last several years. And I don't know. I don't have a huge following, but I got some people that like watching me and they comment all the time about what we're doing, and it just means so much to us. And we're going to let this go for a little bit, folks, and we're going to come back in a little bit and we're going to make a sauce. And we're going to take that sauce and we're going to mop it on here a little bit while it cooks. We're going to let it go probably an hour before we start doing that. And then we're also going to use this sauce. It's also going to be a dipping sauce for when we eat it. So, folks, it is hot out here today. I can tell you that right now. Central Mississippi is cooking. We'll be back in a minute. How you doing, folks? Just took a peek on the ribs, and they're coming along pretty good. They've been on there about 30 minutes. I'm going to make a little sauce for you. It's my own concoction, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better way to put it. So let's come in here. I'll get in a little closer here and let you take a look. Y'all probably like looking at the food rather than me anyway. The base to this sauce is going to be hoisin sauce. Now, trust me, if I can find hoisin sauce at my grocery store, my country grocery store in Central Mississippi, you can find it at yours. This is about 9 ounces of hoisin sauce. There's a little out of here, so I'm going to call it 8 because we use it for some other stuff. But this is really good to me by itself. It reminds me of a Korean barbecue sauce. And we're going to put the whole thing in here. And again, I'm going to say it's about 8 ounces. And there I go with that bad habit of mine. All right, we got that in there. To that, we're going to add about a teaspoon and a half of yellow mustard. I'm eyeballing that. And you can take this stuff and make it less. If you don't want as much mustard, you don't want as much hoisin, just do with it what you want. Now, to this, I'm going to add about 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar. And that's probably 1/3 of a cup, but folks, I got that much in the bottle. Let's just go ahead and kill it. So we don't have to worry about that one going forward. The last thing is we're going to add just a small amount. And I'm going to use the handle of this so I don't get the hoisin sauce in here. I'm going to use a small amount. I'm going to say about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic. There is garlic flavor in this hoisin sauce. So you want to be careful. I just want to add a little bit to it. We're not adding any salt and pepper to this. We're just going to make this up the way it is and give it a shot. We're not all blended together good. Let's get in here and ramble on while we mix up some of this stuff. Folks, it is hot in Mississippi as it is in a lot of the country. And I know there's been some rain, heavy, with up and all along the eastern seaboard, and we are very mindful of those folks, and we hope they're doing well with that. We know we do have a few followers over there in that area, and we just wish them all well. All right, we got that mixed up a little bit better. I'm going to put just a touch more mustard in there. I don't taste it, so I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon. Now, you know, we're talking about cooking ribs and how I do ribs, and there's a lot of different ways of cooking. I've often, and I've even done it to y'all on videos, I've often referred to cooking as music. There's many genres of music, and we all have ways we want. Some people use apple wood, some people spray things with apple juice, some people put their ribs wet, some do dry, some do them hot, some wrap them. You know, I'm not saying any of those people are wrong, and I'm not saying any of those people are right. Neither am I wrong or right. It's just the way we like things and flavors that we come up with. And because I cook a lot for the public, I have to adjust my flavors to people that I'm cooking for a lot of times. But every once in a while, or pretty much every time, I try to introduce a dish that's 100% Jeff. Most of the time, it's a hit. All right, folks, we got that blended up. And y'all can see what it looks like, but it's just kind of sauce. We're going to start basting our ribs. Folks, we're going to put a little bit of this sauce on there. We've been on here about 45 minutes or so. So we're going to put this on here. Now I'm only going to put this on the top. I'm not going to flip these. So a lot of people flip ribs. A lot of people wrap it. They do different things. And like I was saying earlier, everybody's kind of got their way that they like to do this. And if you're cooking for people, you got to be able to do it a couple of different ways. But we all have the ways that we prefer. And I'm cooking at home, so I'm cooking Jeff's way. And, you know, I'm not going to brag or boast, but try my way. I've had other people try it and they like it. It ain't going to hurt you to try something new every once in a while. I always tell everybody, experiment around. All right, we got that pretty well covered. We're going to cover that up. We're going to come back out here in another 30 minutes and give it a good look over. Hey folks, let's check this out. If these thermometers are right, we're running about 275 to 300, which is where we want to go. I threw a log in a while ago. We got a little extra smoke going on. These are looking good. I'm going to say we're probably a half way through the cooking process. You can tell by the way it pulls away from the bone a little bit is a good indicator. I'm going to go ahead and sop this one more time. We've done it a couple of times. We didn't show y'all, but we did it a couple of times. Folks, we were talking earlier about different ways people cook. And I think that's a big thing people overlook today. You get so many people that try to judge right or wrong. And it's not just the way people cook that's different. It's the regions around the country. You know, you have Southern, you have Appalachian, you have up north Southern Dutch or Northern Dutch, like I was talking about with my wife. You got different ways, and none of those ways are right or wrong, and we shouldn't judge people based on that. A lot of people have a lot of good things. A lot of people make a lot of money cooking. And I think the biggest factor in all of that being said is the love. To me, that's the biggest simple ingredient you can put in your food. You know, is there some right or wrong? Yeah, you don't want to cook your brisket at 700 degrees and things like that are obvious. But folks, it's the love you put into this. Spending 3 hours with these on the grill, coming out here in the heat and putting the stuff on there. I know that there's no culinary term to what I'm fixing to say, but I think I've got a lot of people who agree with me. Love is an ingredient you can't taste, but you can tell it's in there. I think that's the most important thing a cook can share to anybody, even another cook. Again, love is not an ingredient you can taste, but you know love is in your food. We're going to come out here shortly and we're going to pull these off, and we're going to have a feast. Ribs, and the side we're going to have is just simple watermelon. You can't beat a hot summertime thing for that, can you? Be back shortly. Hey folks, our ribs are ready to come off. So we're going to pull them off and put them on this sheet. We got that glaze kind of a little tacky sticking on things. Oh man, I smell it already. I'm hungry, hungry, hungry. That's probably a little better view of the main important thing, and not me, but the food. We're going to put a little glaze on these if I don't spill it here. Looky there. Now this is going to have more of an Asian kind of flavor with the hoisin sauce. But I love Asian flavors. I love Asian food. I love a lot of food, actually. You can probably tell by the way I look, but I use a lot of food. How about that? Now, folks, I don't know if you can see this, but your food, when you're cooking it, it talks to you in its own language. You see how your bones are pulling away from the meat? See if I can flip this over a little bit. You kind of see how they're coming away right here. These are good signs that your ribs are getting done. Folks, you want to always listen to your food. Whether you're in the house or not, you want to listen. It's going to talk to you. It's going to tell you. And you're going to be able to judge. You know, and I cook a cake in the, for example, I cook a cake in the oven in the house. I still rotate that pan within the oven, even though it's not a Dutch oven and stuff like that. It's just a habit. I listen to my food. I like what it's doing, and I just try to listen out. These are screaming hot, folks. And since we use Kent Rollins seasoning, we're going to use the Kent Rollins hash knife here. We'll cut us a rib. I've got a lot of hash knives, but I got one of Kent's here. You can get you one too. Now, folks, this is very, very hot. You can see how this is falling off the bone. Super tender. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see me cry when I put this in my mouth. A great summertime dish, folks. Ribs. You see how this rib looks? The bone just right there. I'm gonna take the rest of this, and I don't care if y'all watch me eat it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Folks, we've talked about a lot of different things in the video today. But folks, just enjoy what you do. We got people that hate cooking, and we got people that love cooking. If you love cooking, give it all you got. I guarantee you, you're going to reap the rewards from that day in and day out. Whether it's for your kids after school, for your family at night, however you cook, love what you do, folks. So, from Central Mississippi on a really, really hot day, enjoy your food.